RIC, Cameroun. RITER, Côte d'Ivoire. Il n'y a pas de représentant de RITER ici?
C'est loin.
Merci.
C'est loin.
Université virtuelle de Côte d'Ivoire. Merci. Centre national de calcul de Côte d'Ivoire. Merci. Renater, France. Garnet, Ghana. Thank you. GH Ren. GN Ren, Guinée. Liberia, LR Ren. Mali Ren. Niger Ren. Merci. NG Ren, Nigeria. Thank you. SL Ren, Sierra Leone. Chad Ren. Togo Ren. Merci. Voilà, Monsieur le Président.
Merci, DG. C'est tellement qu'il y a des membres qui sont en ligne, donc on vérifiera après. Alors donc, nous avons l'ordre du jour qui est proposé pour adoption.
Please, can you display the agenda? Okay. Good. Please, can you scroll so that we see all items? Okay. So, voilà. So now we have to review and amend and adopt the agenda, please. Are there any amendments? If not, we have to adopt it. We need some a member to move and seconder. So, Centre Calcul? Is it Centre Calcul? Centre Calcul moves. Seconder? Garnet. Thank you. Okay. So then we have to review and adopt the minutes of the 2022 AGM. So that was sent to members. So I think you had the opportunity to have a look at it. So if you can please display the minutes of the 2022 AGM. It's not matters arising, the minutes. Okay, can you scroll down, please? Yes. First page, just scroll, okay. Okay, no, it's too far. Go up to number 3, okay. Number 4, any comments? Item 5.
Okay.
Please scroll down. Item 6. Can you scroll down? Stop. So this was sent to all members, so you certainly had the opportunity to go through it. Scroll down. Down. We go to communication. Stop. System audit. Secretariat. Scroll down. Finance. Scroll down. Number 7. Scroll down. Down. Scroll down. Discussions on reports. Resolutions. Scroll down. Wait, okay. AOB. Adjournment. Okay, I see there are no amendments, but we got some amendments from Pierre Maliren. He couldn't make it because of, he didn't get his travel documents on time, so he couldn't make it to Accra. So it was just about his full name, so it will be corrected. It is Pierre Clavebi Traore, so, and he mentioned that actually he was attending remotely for the 2022 AGM, and he just corrected also his name. So this will be taken into account, in the final version of the of this document. Okay, he also asked, can you go number 10? Number 10 of the document, the previous document. Okay, he was asking on item 5 on the number 10, so to mention the institution form of Greg Owondi. So you'll find out and also gives that information. Chair, I think EcoConnect has a comment here.
Oui. EcoConnect, vas-y.
Oh, sorry. EcoConnect, yes. Okay, me missing EcoConnect. Just give me 1 second. Yes, I miss you here in the list. So EcoConnect, present. Yes, thank you. The roll call.
Josh.
Okay, I think there's a little correction there. This number 10, item 6.
Number 10, item 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
said
Which
Jay
is-
announced that all ACs in Nigeria are participating in the National Open University. That's not correct. They're participating in NGREN.
in NGREN.
Yes.
Okay, please, Effa, take note of that. Thank you. Good. Sorry, Owen, I have Echo Connect here in my list. I just skipped it, forgot to read it. Thank you. So, Chair, can we
Okay.
adopt the minutes with the amendments?
Ok. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres amendements? Sinon, qui propose son adoption? Oui. Centre de calcul.
Centre Calcul moves.
Et Niger-Rennes.
Nigerian seconds.
Second.
Thank you.
Merci.
Can you display the agenda again, please? Okay. So, matters arising from the 2022 AGM minutes. Please, can you? Please, WACREN staff, can you make sure you have the attendance sheets? Yeah. Okay, so there are two matters arising from the 2022 AGM because we discussed that last year was the issue we are having regarding membership fees. And, you know, we said last year that there are a lot of areas, you know, in, you know, payment of membership fees. And the situation today is that it has not changed. It's not changed, and membership fees arrears are piling up, despite the fact that 2 or 3 years ago, I think 2 years ago, we decided to reduce the membership fees, but until now, we still have arrears, you know, of you know, membership fees from members. And this has, of course, a consequence, a direct consequence on the second item. The second item, if you recall, in 2022, we said that because of the situation, you know, of arrears in membership fees, you know, we cannot implement the new constitution, you know, for a simple reason. Because in the new constitution, it is clearly mentioned that so we will go away, you know, from, let's say, our way of doing things. Until now, we were saying, okay, we do everything on consensus basis. We discuss and we try to do consensus. And if we don't reach consensus, then we go into voting. And in the new constitution, it is mentioned that, you know, especially for the composition of the board, only members in good standing can nominate candidates to be members of the board. And only members in good standing, you know, can vote, actually, for candidates into the board. And the situation we are having now is that we have a very small number of members in good standing in terms of payment of membership fees, meaning that there is a very small number of members who can actually nominate candidates to get into the board, and it is that same small number who would vote actually for these candidates. This means that this is a situation, you know, from my point of view is that we cannot, you know, implement it, because that would mean that we have only a small number of members who will actually decide, who will be getting into a board. And it is a situation, for me, that would not be acceptable. And I do think that we have to find a way. So I put it again, to the board to find a solution about this. And because until now, we have always, worked on the consensus basis. We have co-opted, members who we think are very active and especially who are taking services and participating, in WACREN, activities. So these are an issue. I think there is a point, in the agenda where we have to discuss this. This is just to give you, the status, of this issue. So maybe we can discuss it later when we get into that point in the agenda. Thank you.
Okay.
If you could please display the agenda again. So the next point is in the agenda, Chair, is the CEO report.
Yeah.
Please, can you display it? Okay. Okay, good. The annual report was sent to members. Okay, so this is just a summary, okay, of what is in the report, because you got the full document. So right now we are, in terms of membership, we are 18 members, in WACREN, both entrants and associate members. And I would like to use the opportunity to welcome the Centre National de Calcul de Côte d'Ivoire, which is the high performance computing center, of Côte d'Ivoire, which is a national, institution that manage, the high performance computer, in Côte d'Ivoire. So they have joined WACREN in 2022. So welcome to Suleiman to Centre National de Calcul de Côte d'Ivoire. Next slide. So regarding our activities in terms of, expanding our network, in 2002, we got an increase of capacity, for Garnet, requested, more capacity to better serve, the Garnet community. We also had increase of capacity, for NGREN. In 2022, we also connected Université Virtuelle de Côte d'Ivoire, okay, which is in Abidjan, and with 2 STM1 link. We could also complete the Herbert integration into the WACREN backbone. Unfortunately, no new NRAN could be connected, to the WACREN backbone. This is, of course, due to the lack of counter funding, because as you know, we get support, we got funding from the European Commission, 80%, but we need to provide the 20%, counter funding, to be able to access these funds. And we, in 2022, we didn't have any country, that was able to put money, counter funding on the table so that new countries can be connected, to our backbone. Maliren is still not connected to our backbone. Also, Maliren actually contributed to, pay the counter funding for, even since Africa Connect 2. The issue we are having there, first, it was the problem of, monopoly, in Mali, and extremely high pricing, for the connectivity. And then we had the challenge of political instability, with schools, and that prevented us to, to collect Mali. But we are discussing with WACREN, and WACREN is committed to connect Mali this year, before the end of the year. In any case, we'll find a way to connect Mali. Please, next slide. So this is, our network today. As you see, we still have, our 3 aggregation POPs in Lagos, in Accra, and in Abidjan. Other countries connect through these POPs, to get to the international, research and education, the global research education network, and also access to the internet. So we have the edge POPs, that are connected through terrestrial fibers, to the WACREN POPs, aggregation POPs. And this is how it looks like today. And what you see here in the dots, so it is a link from Abidjan to Marseille that we intend to activate, if possible, before the end of this year. Next one. So for the services, actually, we have some bundled services. We give connectivity, but we also have, security services, to our members. This is bundled. So meaning that every month, we provide a security report, to our members, listing the incidents, that we have recorded, in that month, and also the measures that we recommend, for the members to take, in order to mitigate, these issues that we have, recorded. And after the, besides just security services, of course, we support our members for deploying in the room. This is also bundled. This is not at extra cost. The only service that we are providing now at extra cost are video conferencing services. Okay, Zoom and Garnet, is one of our members, that takes this service. And recently we have also NigerRen, that has requested, the video conferencing service from WACREN. Next one. On capacity building, so NREN Academies, we had 2 webinars, on our NREN Academy program. We also had a trust and identity workshop in Abidjan in 2022, and also had a Trust Broker Africa workshop in Botswana. So this is an initiative, that we are doing in collaboration with Ubuntu Alliance and ASREN, and that's why you see Botswana here, because there was an opportunity, during the annual conference of the Ubuntu Alliance to have a workshop on cybersecurity, in Gaborone. Next one. So WACREN 2022. So for those who were in Abidjan, so you remember, so it was on open science, and it was hybrid, both physical and online. We have more than 450 participants, from 18 countries. And it was the first time also that we, organized our annual conference on a campus. So it was at University Félix Houphouët-Boigny. So there was some challenges, of course, technical challenges. So we have learned from it, but we still intend, in the future, as much as possible, to get closer to the community and have as many activities as possible, on campus that we have done this year, for instance, in University of Ghana, where we organize, the IoT workshop, the 3 days workshop, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, were all organized, this event were organized on campus at University of Ghana. Next one. And then we have, the activities on the Africa Digital Campus. The project was launched in Cotonou. We have 2 pilots, one in Benin, one in Burkina Faso. And we launched the project in Cotonou. The launch in Ouagadougou had to be postponed, and we did it early this year in 2023. Because of political situation in Ouagadougou, in Burkina Faso, we had to postpone it. Because there was a coup just 2 weeks before, we were supposed to launch the project, and we had to cancel everything, the tickets, etc., bookings, and we did it early this year. And in the framework of this project, we conducted, the network audits, of the campuses of the institutions that are beneficiary of this project, namely University Virtuelle de Burkina Faso, but the project is actually hosted at University Joseph Kizerbo, because that's where the POP of FASOREN is located. And for the second one in Benin is Institut Technologie in Lokossa, not in Cotonou. Next one. So on communication, as you see here, so our CMO has conducted some activities in collaboration, especially with our partners, Ubuntu Net Alliance, ASREN, and GEON. And we, as you see here, we supported also some of our members in terms of communication, and we also did capacity building, for our entrants, through webinars. On Africa Digital Campus, of course, social media management and a review of communication plan, in collaboration with IRD and the beneficiaries, namely in Benin and Burkina Faso. On the trust and identity, EduID Africa, so we had also a campaign planning that was done, and we also did a publication of an article on this initiative. Next one. So on regarding the secretariat, this year in 2022, so last year we were 7 colleagues, working at the secretariat. And in 2022, we had the opportunity through the Africa Digital Campus, project to hire 2 network engineers and 2 DevOps. So we are now 11 at the secretariat, and trying, of course, as much as possible to address, the needs of our members. So the photo you are seeing here, it was when we were preparing, the conference here at Marriott. Next. So on finance, well, the subscription, the subscription fee, was revised downwards, but still we have challenges with members, who are not paying their membership fees. And members have to understand that membership fees, the secretariat cannot run on membership fees. Membership fees are really, almost symbolic, okay? But it's important that members pay membership fees because it shows commitment, to WACREN, to the community. It is not the money that is important, but it's the gesture, to pay your membership fees, that you really show your commitment, to the community, to WACREN. So, and I do think that we have to make a lot of effort there because very few members, are on good standing. And of course, almost all our activities are funded, by the EC, actually, by the European Commission. And I do think, the extra resources that we have are the resources we get from the services, we are providing to our members, connectivity and other services. So, as I said earlier, so Africa Digital Campus projects has started in 2022, okay? And you will get a detailed financial report right after this one. So, Chair, I think that was it. Next slide, I think that is it. For the last slide. Yes. So that was it. So I would invite Ivan to come here, please, the audited financial report. If you can just display that document.
Merci, CEO.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. So as already introduced, my name is Ivan Yeboah, and I'll be presenting the audited accounts for the year 2022, as being displayed for you. And as said already, members were sent the detailed financial report, so this is just a summary of the statement of financial performance for the year and then the statement of financial position. So I'll commence with the statement of financial performance for the year ended 31st December 2022. And we'll start with the revenue as displayed. Membership subscription of $9,450, as has been mentioned already, very low. Then the portion of the European Commission grant, which was used in the year 2022 for the Africa Connect3 project, of $600,730, as well as the portion of the grant from IRD for the Africa Digital Campus project, which commenced in 2022, as well as an amount of $177,274. Then revenue accruing from the grant from FCDO towards the Lipsense symposium that was held in Accra of $24,116. Members' backbone contribution made up of the WACREN Connect and other services of an amount of $498,012, and other donations amounting to $37,257, which gave a total revenue for the period of $1,346,839, as against $1,869,797 the previous year. We proceed with the expenditure for this period. Project development expenditure of $67,499, and as mentioned already, no co-funding was made during the year. Travel and transport of an amount of $27,809. Expenses of workshop and conferences of $130,689. Then the seminar and symposium, which was funded by FCDO, $16,460. Personnel and researcher cost, $639,623. Peering and transit cost, including collocation, $189,268. Other admin expenses of $40,048, and the depreciation charge for the year of an amount of $4,083, giving a total expenditure of $1,115,479. So less than the total expenditure from the revenue figure already mentioned, give a surplus of $231,360. So I'll proceed by taking the statement of financial position for the year ended 31st December 2022, as displayed. Starting with the asset and the current asset for the period, there was an account receivable of $410,852 that is due from members from services taken, as well as membership fees unpaid. Cash and cash equivalent balance for the year ended of an amount of $736,540. giving a total current asset of $1,147,392 US. Now, property and equipment PPE, non-current assets, net book value of $19,148 US. This gives a total asset as at the year ended of $1,166,540 US. And I'll proceed with the liabilities and fund as at the year end. Current liabilities, sundry payables of $20,170 US. For fund, accumulated fund figure of $847,217 US. And deferred income made up of portion of the funds grants received that was not used in the period 2022 of an amount of $299,153 US. This gives a total fund figure of $1,146,370 US, generating a total funds and liability figure of $1,166,540 US. So as mentioned already, members have the detailed financial report, and this is the end of the presentation. And probably the CEO would give the opportunity for the auditor, external auditor, who would go ahead and present. So I'll take the opportunity to invite Mr. Odame, the external auditor, to present his audit report. Thank you.
Okay, merci, Adam.
Good afternoon, members.
Good afternoon.
My name is Eric Odame, representative of K. Asante Radio Consultancy, external auditors of WACREN. I present to you the auditor's report for the financial year ended 2022. And I read, we have audited the accompanying financial statements of West and Central African Research and Education Network, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2022, the statement of financial performance, the statement of fund changes, the statement of cash flows for the year ended, the notes to the financial statements, which includes a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory notes as set out on pages 8 to 19 of the financial statement. In our opinion, the financial statement gives a true and fair view of the financial position of the Institute as at 31st December 2022 and its financial performance and cash flows for the year ended in accordance with the International Public Sector Accounting Standard, IPSAS, and in the manner required by the Companies Act 2019, Act 992 of Ghana. Basis of opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing, IASs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the Institute in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board for the Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, IESBA Code, and we have fulfilled our other ethical representatives' requirements in accordance with these requirements and the IESBA Code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statements. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but it's not
a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with ISAs will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatements can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if individually or in aggregate they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decisions of users taken on the basis of these financial statements. As part of an audit in accordance with the ISs, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audits. We also, one, identify and assess the risk of material misstatements of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error. Design and perform audit procedures responsive to those risks and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The risk of not detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than for one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omissions, misrepresentations, or the override of internal controls. 2, obtain an understanding of the internal control relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of an organization's internal control. We evaluate the appropriateness of the accounting policies used and the reasonableness of the accounting estimates and relevant disclosures made by management. Conclude on the appropriateness of the director's use of the going concern basis of the accounting, and based on the audit evidence obtained, whether material uncertainty exists related to the events, or evaluate the overall performance, overall presentations, structure, and content of the financial statements, including the disclosures, and whether the financial statements represent the underlying transactions and events in a manner that achieves fair presentation. We communicate with the directors regarding, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audits and significant audit findings, including any significant deficiencies in the internal controls that we identified during our audits. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. Compliance with the requirements of Section 133 of the Companies Act 2019, Act 992 of Ghana. We have obtained all information explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audits. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept, and the statement of financial position and income statement are in agreement with the books of accounts. Signed, K. Asante Redu Consultancy, Chartered Accountants. Thank you.
Merci. Bien. Messieurs les membres, voici les différents rapports d'activité, rapports financiers qui nous sont présentés. Je sais que nous les avions vus avant. Ceux qui avaient des questions d'éclaircissement les avaient posées, mais s'il y a éventuellement d'autres questions, vous pouvez les poser.
Chair, the next item of the agenda is the discussion on the reports, the CEO report, the financial report, and the auditor's report.
Oui, c'est ce qu'on vient d'avoir. C'est ce que nous venons d'avoir.
So we got the three reports, the activity report, the financial report, and the auditor's report. Now the next item in the agenda is a discussion on these three reports. If there are comments or questions on these three reports.
Oui. C'est ça. Des commentaires, des questions? Je disais qu'on avait eu les rapports, ça a été envoyé aux membres. Certains avaient déjà posé des questions, comme moi. Mais s'il y a éventuellement d'autres questions ou commentaires, vous pouvez les faire avant qu'on les adopte.
Je pense que for the adoption, there are resolutions. So for now, we just discuss. If there is no comment, we just move to the next agenda because there are resolutions for adoptions of these reports. Can you please display the agenda?
Pas de commentaires?
Please, can you scroll? Okay, we are now at item number 9. Chair, I would suggest if there is no question, we move to number 10.
Ok. Alors, donc, le point suivant de l'ordre du jour, adoption du plan stratégique 2023-2025.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, the strategic plan was sent to members. And as you recall, we had a draft of the strategic plan that we submitted to members. It was shared online for members to make comments, to give input on the strategic plan. So this process took a couple of months. And after some inputs of some members, so we that were taken into account. So the final draft was sent to the board, for finalization. So, and it is that document that was sent to members. So you all have it, and it is. I don't think it is necessary to display the strategic plan here. And you all know the content. You gave your input. You had a couple of months to give your input. They were taken into account. You were finalized, and the final draft was sent to you. And as of today, I didn't get any, feedback or comment or whatever amendments, to the final draft. So what we want to do here is to formally, adopt the strategic plan 2023-2025, for WACREN. And of course, once adopted, this strategic plan will also be shared with the community and the partners. So, Chair, this is for members to formally, adopt the strategic plan 2023-2025.
Oui. Merci. Bien. Je crois que ça a été envoyé aussi aux membres. On a eu quelques suggestions qui ont été prises en compte. Les membres du Conseil ont déjà regardé. Donc je pense que maintenant il s'agit de l'adopter, puisque c'est le plan directeur de WACREN. C'est ça qui va guider les actions futures de notre organisation. Donc, avant qu'on puisse activer cela, il faudrait que l'Assemblée l'adopte. Donc, on le soumet à votre adoption pour que nous puissions commencer son déroulement. Donc, alors, messieurs les membres, on va procéder à l'adoption du plan stratégique. Est-ce que quelqu'un veut proposer parmi les membres? Oui. Ok.
Sorry? Centre national de calcul?
One.
Moves, who seconds?
We want to move. Second. Retire.
Sorry? Retire? Okay, retire seconds. Thank you.
Merci. Ben, on peut applaudir quand même.
So, item number 11, it is about the WACREN Constitution revision. Where are we on that? Chair, I think I said it earlier. We have an issue, with implementing the new constitution. And as I said, the proposed new constitution. And as I said, in the revised, in the proposed constitution, there are some clauses that say, or, that give the guidance, on how the board is constituted. So, and we said, okay, the board is, made of X numbers, and they have a tenure, of a certain period, and that at elections, a board or candidates, should be nominated by members in good standing. This is one. And secondly, only members in good standing can vote for those candidates. As it stands today, we don't have, a reasonable number of members in good standing to implement that proposed new constitution. So, me as CEO, what I'm proposing to the board and members is that we try to solve, this problem of, being in good standing by members before we start implementing that proposed new constitution. That means that I am proposing that we have a status quo for now, find a way for members and the secretariat to discuss and see how we can solve this, issue of members in good standing. And I do think that there is a possibility for members who are not in good standing to discuss with the secretariat and find, a kind of schedule, how to, clear this backlog, of membership fees. And I would personally go for a case-by-case, solution, depending on members and depending on how many years, members are not in good standing. I would not go into details right now, but I would rather, task the secretariat to approach the members and to find a schedule, for this issue to be resolved as soon as possible. And then, once we have discussed with the members, who are not in good standing, maybe assess the situation later in this year, and then decide, on how we proceed further. And what I'm proposing is actually one of the resolutions, the Secretariat is putting on the table for members to consider, is to hold on now, for the proposed new constitution, Secretariat to discuss with members and find a way to solve this membership fees issue, and then have a general assembly later in the year to assess the situation, and see the way forward, depending on the progress we have made and the arrangement we have made with the members. Personally, as I said, I won't go into details, but I think that we could say, okay, if a member says, for instance, okay, I have X years of, of backlog, regarding membership fees, and that member says, okay, I pay for 2 years or something like that, and commit, of paying the rest gradually, I do think it's showing, a good faith, that members really wants, to sort out the issue. And in that case, the boards can consider that member, let's say, in good standing, okay, just to allow us to move forward. So that's what I'm proposing, actually. So this is the status. Today, if you would say, okay, we implement the new constitution, it will be only 3 or 4 members who will be able to nominate and to vote. That's my submission. Thank you.
Voilà. Bon, je crois que cette discussion a eu lieu plusieurs fois. Je crois que même à l'Assemblée générale passée, le Conseil a fait des propositions, pensant qu'en arrivant à cette Assemblée générale, les choses se seraient stabilisées, mais rien n'y est fait. Donc, je crois que le directeur général fait d'autres propositions en concertation avec le Conseil. Et on verra si d'ici là, les membres vont pouvoir se mettre à jour pour que nous puissions implémenter nos statuts, nos nouveaux statuts. Voilà. Donc, je crois que, est-ce que s'il y a des commentaires, peut-être on peut les recevoir par rapport à ce qui a été dit. Donc, vous avez la parole.
You want to say something? Yeah, do we have a mic? Yeah. This is for members, okay?
For members.
Members, yes. Yeah, you are a member. Engineer is member, so.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think we should tell ourselves the truth. The fact is that WACREN is still evolving. We have a lot of work to do. It will take some time, but I know that with commitment from all the stakeholders, things will get better. If we are in a situation whereby we do not have enough members in good standing, it makes no sense for us to enforce certain rules at this stage in the life of WACREN. I think we can just maybe go on with the current arrangement for a short while, and then we review as things get better. That would be my suggestion. Again, I don't think it's wise for us to say members who are not in good standing should be taking decisions, because there's really no firm commitment or no legal or moral backing to support that kind of arrangement. So if you will agree, I think I suggest that we hold on for a while and then put in more effort in getting as many members as possible to pay up their dues.
Merci. Je crois que c'est ce que nous sommes en train de faire. Autre commentaire?
Please, can you display the agenda again? Okay, Chair, I think this will be taken into account in the resolutions, okay? The AGM will take in point 12. I think there was only one comment, from NGRN now. I would suggest that we move to number 12, but before we review and adopt the resolutions of the AGM, I would like to display the resolutions that were taken by the board, adopted by the board in 2022, for the AGM to ratify. Okay, if you can please display both resolutions passed by the board in 2022. So there are 3 resolutions. 2 of these resolutions were passed by the board at its meeting on the 27th of January 2022, where the board appointed K. Asante Waredu Consultancy as auditor of our accounts. This was the first resolution at the board meeting. And the second one that was passed at that meeting was to open an account, a separate account for the Africa Digital Campus project, because we really want to, at WACREN, we try as much as possible, to separate, the accounting. Okay, we have WACREN accounts, for our own resources. We have, for instance, Africa Connect 3 accounts, for the Africa Connect 3 projects. And, this resolution was passed by the board to open a different account for the Africa Digital Campus project, so that, accounting, is transparent, and, easy to manage. So this was a resolution passed by the board to open an account for that project. And the other resolution, the third resolution, was passed on the 23rd of June, 2022. At that meeting, we had to make a decision because the finance and admin officer was at the end of his contracts, and we did not decide yet, on the way forward. And because we didn't want, WACREN to get into a situation, where we cannot do any movement, in our bank accounts, the board resolves that me as CEO should be sole signatory, for the accounts, because normally it's a finance and admin and the CEO, who are the 2 signatories of the accounts. But because we were still discussing with FAO, so we didn't want to get into a situation where, we couldn't, we get stuck, we cannot make any movement. So actually, this didn't even happen, because in between, we discussed with FAO, and his contract was renewed. So it wasn't actually implemented, for CEO to be sole signatory. So these are the 3 resolutions that were passed by the board in 2022. Please, can you display now the agenda again? Can you scroll down? So we are now in number 12, the review and adoption of resolution of the annual general meeting. Please, if you can display that document. Draft resolutions. Okay, let me read them. So these are resolutions to be considered by the AGM for adoption. So it reads, the following resolution were duly passed at the annual general meeting of WACREN held in Accra and online on 17th of March 2023. Resolution AGM 2023-03-17-01. The AGM ratifies the following resolutions passed by the board and its meetings held online on 27th of January and 23rd of June 2022. 1. Resolution 2022-01-27-01. Resolution 2022-01-27-02 and Resolution 2022-06-23-01. These are the three resolutions we have just showed you. Resolution AGM 2023-03-17-02. The AGM approves the 2022 annual report as shared with members and summarized at the AGM. Resolution AGM 2023-03-17-03. The AGM approves the 2022 financial report as presented by the Finance and Administration Officer. Resolution AGM 2023-03-17-04. The AGM has received and approved the report of the external auditor for the 2022 financial year. Resolution AGM 2023-03-17-05. The AGM has received and adopted the WACREN strategic plan for 2023 to 2025. Resolution AGM 2023-03-17-06. The AGM approves the board proposition to suspend the adoption and implementation of the proposed new WACREN constitution. A General Assembly will be held in Q4 2023 to assess the situation and advise on the way forward. So these are the 6 resolutions, proposed to the AGM for consideration and adoption. Thank you.
Ok, bien. Donc, je crois que nous avions pris connaissance des différentes résolutions. On va les adopter. Chers membres. Donc, si vous êtes d'accord, qui propose son adoption. Oui, s'il y a des éclaircissements à demander, il n'y a pas de souci. Oui. Oui, s'il y a des questions, sinon on va adopter. S'il n'y a pas de questions, on va procéder à son adoption.
Je soutiens l'adoption de la résolution AGM 2023 03 17 01.
Moi, je propose, s'il n'y a pas de, if there is no comment, no objection, no adoption, no amendment, I would suggest we adopt it as a whole. Unless there are amendments on 1 or 2 of the resolutions. If there are none, I do think that we can just, adopt them, unless, as I say, if there are no amendments to any of those, so maybe it's better to, take them as a set of resolutions.
Alors, donc, je
Or,
pose-
you know, if you prefer to go resolution by resolution, I'm okay too. I'm fine too.
Bon, quoi qu'on va procéder plus simple. S'il y a des amendements par rapport à une résolution, donc, on va le recevoir et adopter les autres en attendant.
Bonsoir. Je demande une clarification concernant la dernière résolution. Il avait été écrit une assemblée générale. Ne s'agit-il pas d'une assemblée générale extraordinaire?
Okay, in the current constitution, okay, I understand that there are some differences, you know, between, you know, French-speaking and English-speaking, you know, let's say, the way of doing things, okay? In French, you always say Assemblée Générale Extraordinaire, meaning extraordinary General Assembly, okay? Because in the French-speaking environment, a General Assembly is actually only once a year. But in English-speaking, you know, environment, we say annual General Assembly. And then can be other General Assemblies, not the annual one, but others. So in our Constitution, right now, it is said General Assembly. We have annual General Assembly. Let me just read it. Let me read it. Let me read it. So in our current Constitution, there is no extraordinary, you know, General Assembly. So it is written. Excuse me, just one second. Okay, Article 7. Article 7. The General Assembly is constituted by all members of WACREN. Okay? The General Assembly convenes once a year for an annual general meeting. Okay? And it is written then that other so the General Assembly meets once every year, AGM, and it's called by the chair of the board of directors. Other General Assemblies can be called if the need arises. Okay?
Bien, quoi que c'est clair. J'avais eu la même question, oui. C'est clair. OK. Donc, voilà, s'il n'y a pas d'autres questions ou amendements, on va procéder à l'adoption.
Okay, so in the absence of any comments, any observations, Garnet would like to move that we adopt these resolutions as committed.
Thank you. Garnet moves. Seconder?
And Jiren?
And Jiren seconds. Thank you very much.
Merci.
Can you please display the agenda? So the last item in the agenda is AOB, in other business, and this is actually an open mic. This item is for all attendees of the AGM, not only for members. So members, I mean, all attendees can make comments, can make recommendations, can say whatever they want. So it is not a discussion. So you can do, you can say whatever you want, but don't expect responses. So it will just be recorded. Okay. So, and so, Chair, I think that we should invite anybody who is in this room that may have comments on what we have, because they didn't have the opportunity to say everything, to say anything, because it was a members' affair. But if they have any recommendations, any comments, or whatever, you give them the chance, to express themselves. Thank you.
C'est la raison pour laquelle l'Assemblée générale est publique aussi. Yeah. Okay.
I think Professor Kehinde wanted to.
Okay.
Do you have another mic?
Oui.
Do you have another mic? Oh, okay, you have a mic there. Okay, good.
Yes. I'm chairman of the General Assembly here this evening, the Chief Executive Officer of WACREN, other top management officers of WACREN.
Sorry, can you introduce yourself, for the benefit of the, our reports?
Okay, thank you, CEO. So my name is Professor Kehinde Ogunjobi. I'm the director of the WASCAL Competence Center and the Deputy Executive Director of WASCAL. On behalf of WASCAL, we are really very happy to be here this evening to attend this general meeting, General Assembly. WASCAL also submitted a membership form to be part of this very productive body, WACREN. We participated in the activities of WACREN, myself and my colleague here, Dr. Diallo Belko, who is also the head of the Data Management Department of WASCAL. We both participated in the conference and also in the IoT workshop, and it's been very, very rewarding. And consequently, Chief Executive Officer, sir, we submitted a form to now be recognized as a formal member of WACREN. So I want to use this opportunity under the AOB, any other business, to seek the permission of management of WACREN to ask what is the current status, or what is the status of WASCAL's membership, consequence upon submission of our registration form. Thank you so very much, sir.
Merci. Sio.
Non. Je préfère que les gens posent des questions, enfin, fassent des commentaires. Peut-être à la fin, je pourrais dire quelque chose.
D'accord. OK. D'autres questions, commentaires?
Chair, if there are none, okay. Yeah.
Il est là.
No, it's working. It might not be fully my place to make that comment, but I know, just because I know there's been some progress, Boubacar. The notes of 2021, you wrote that the system review was being defined.
On n'a pas compris.
Non, moi j'ai compris.
Je vais me traduire moi-même. Dans les notes de 2021, il y avait une indication que l'audit de système de WACREN allait être déféré à 2022 et on n'a pas eu d'update, enfin peut-être que c'était dans le rapport narratif que vous avez reçu, mais on n'a pas eu d'update sur ce propos. Voilà. Et je sais que WACREN a fait des progrès là-dessus. Merci.
Autre commentaire ou question? On laisse encore une minute et on passe aux réponses.
Bon, Chair, s'il n'y a pas d'autres commentaires, je pense qu'on peut procéder à la clôture. As I said, AOB generally, open mic, we take note of your comments, of your recommendation, but let me just make an exception here and give some information. Regarding WASCAR, okay, we received your membership form yesterday, and we are very happy about it. Okay, so on Monday you will receive a formal answer. Okay, of your membership on Monday. Okay, and regarding the systems audit, this is something that is very important to us because we really want to assess where we are, and to see where we have challenges and also get some recommendation from an external point of view, okay, the audit firm. And Ivan, is Deloitte, right? Is it Deloitte or KPMG? KPMG, okay. So we engaged international firm, and so they did the systems audit, and we got the responses, so we make some comments, and at the board meeting on the 28th of February, so I informed the board that we are now at the stage where we can submit to the board for before we share with our partners in community. So that's where we are. Okay, so thank you. Chair.
Ok, merci. Bien, je crois que si Wascal veut bien être membre de WACREN, ça ne peut être qu'un grand honneur pour WACREN. Notre souci, c'est que l'organisation s'agrandisse, que la famille s'agrandisse. Une institution aussi respectable que Wascal ne peut être que la bienvenue. Donc, merci pour cette démarche. Nous espérons que d'autres aussi suivront ce pas, pour que WACREN soit une organisation aussi grande en Afrique. Alors, donc, avant de passer...
Chair, just for the... Just to share with the community, I do think that we can use the opportunity to really share with the community where we are, especially on the systems audit. And Ivan has stepped out. Okay, there are some recommendations, from KPMG, and we have engaged also KPMG to accompany us. Okay, so we are in discussion with them, for another contract, for them to, to be beside us, to try to fill the gaps, that they have identified. So just to show that we are in this process. So we are already discussing the way forward with KPMG. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Merci. Alors, donc je vais, si les membres ont un mot avant de procéder à la clôture. Centre de calcul? Non. Jaren? No. Garnet, you have something to say? No. And Jaren?
No. Okay. Maybe EcoConnect?
EcoConnect. UVC? Non. C'est Riter, oui.
Riter? UVCI?
EcoConnect. Ok. Donc, merci.
Il faut que quelqu'un propose de clôturer.
Je voudrais dire un mot d'abord avant qu'on ne clôture. Alors, donc, le DG a fait dans son rapport et autres, donc je voudrais d'abord le féliciter et ensuite lui demander de mettre un peu de ses efforts du côté du Mali pour que cette année Je sais que c'est déjà dans son agenda, mais il faut que Mali soit connecté cette année, vivement. Donc il y a eu des difficultés au niveau du Burkina par rapport au projet ADC, mais finalement ça a été résolu, ce qui prouve qu'il y a quand même une certaine résilience et des efforts qui sont faits pour que les choses avancent dans la meilleure des façons. Donc je voudrais vivement féliciter tous ceux qui sont présents et on se leur heureux d'accueillir les nouveaux membres très prochainement aussi. Et merci pour tout, pour tous vos accompagnements, vos appuis, vos contributions pour la réussite de cette conférence. La semaine a été un peu dure, mais on y est arrivé. Merci d'avoir participé aussi à cette assemblée générale. Et je pense, au nom de tous les collègues ici, que nous allons nous retrouver prochainement, peut-être dans un autre pays, pour d'autres succès. Okay. Donc, merci pour tout. Alors, donc, nous allons procéder à la clôture. Qui propose la clôture de l'AG?
So, Nigerian move for the adjournment. Okay, second.
Sans de calcul.
Sans de calcul, seconds.
Voilà. Merci. Donc, je déclare l'Assemblée générale 2023 close. Merci.
Et si vous permettez, également un grand merci aux interprètes ainsi que, disons, l'équipe vidéo qui nous a accompagnés toute cette semaine. Thank you very much.